Hey everyone, welcome to the channel. We are the Political Pundits, DICKS. You heard that right. Hopefully, we don't get demonetized, but that's okay. So, today we're going to be talking about Trump catching the coronavirus. We're going to talk about where he likely caught it, where he went when he had it, his current health, his future health, the video of him gasping for air, his attitude toward COVID, how it hasn't changed, coughing on a Fox interview, and how he might be big dead right now.
All right, so where Trump likely caught this virus was definitely at the Rose Garden ceremony where he announced Amy Coney Barrett's nomination for the Supreme Court. Because most of the cases that are spreading around the White House right now have been traced back to that gathering. And if you look at videos from that gathering, we can see that there was no social distancing, few, if any, masks, and they were all like in really close proximity. Like, not even like no social distancing, they were really close. Like, what was it? They were like patting each other on the back, talking like 2 feet or 2 inches away from each other. It was no surprise whatsoever that many of these senators and Republican leaders are coming down with the virus.
Yeah, so he this was just it was totally stupid. They just pretty much disregarded every rule in the book. And honestly, if they get sick, I don't feel bad for them. They were being really stupid, and that's pretty much the state of Trump right now. He's kooky in the head right now.
Yeah, while I don't wish harm on anybody, I do believe karma exists, and this is a very prime example of karma seeking its or taking its course. Moving on to where he went while he had coronavirus. So he probably had or was spreading coronavirus before he initially tested positive, meaning the Wednesday and Thursday that he tested positive on, he was out and about and he was spreading the virus. So first he went to where did he go? So Trump went several places, and the first place he went to was a rally in Minneapolis, Minnesota, where it was noted that he looked sluggish and tired. Where that it could just be because he was old, but it was a good warning sign that something was not up. So he was probably spreading it there to like different campaign aides or people he was in close contact with there. You can now go
Yeah,
to
and
some.
they haven't been taking the proper precautions there either. So pretty much whoever got it, they got it. They may or may not know it. And thanks to the Trump rally.
Well, they know now for sure. It's been like
Well,
what, a
yeah.
week? Yeah. So on Thursday, while still feeling sluggish and while knowing that his campaign aide Hope Hicks tested positive, he went to an event in New Jersey with military families and was in extremely close contact with many of the families there, shaking hands and taking pictures. Meanwhile, he did know for a fact that Hope Hicks tested positive, yet he still went to this rally, exposing dozens and dozens of people to the virus, and many of them have probably tested positive since.
Yep, that's just adding more fuel to the fire, more complex problems. It only gets more complicated from here.
It was extremely irresponsible for him to do this, especially knowing that Hope Hicks tested positive, because he probably thought if they didn't announce it and kept it quiet, they could probably bury it under the rug. But then he tested positive, so shit hit the fan, which was at 2 a.m. So he announced at 2 a.m. Eastern time that he had coronavirus that night after coming back. It was noted that he was starting to show symptoms. He was sluggish. He eventually hit a fever that night. His oxygen levels dropped overnight or in early Friday morning. But what the funniest thing about this is the tweet itself that Trump announced that he and Melania tested positive for COVID. That is now his most liked tweet that he has ever tweeted. And whether it's not people liking it, wishing him to die, or liking it for wishing him to get better, I don't know the ratio, but I find it pretty amusing that that is now his most liked tweet by a mile.
All right, so we're going to talk a little bit about his current state right now. So Trump says he's okay. I don't think I believe that
Yeah.
because I'm pretty sure they have non-disclosure agreements and stuff with some of the doctors that have been helping him.
The
Uh,
doctors actually have to follow a special protocol where they're not allowed to talk about a patient's health, and that just works under any doctor. It's not specific to Trump because
okay,
it
yeah,
is a law, so it's not something
okay,
catered to the president.
okay, yeah, then that applies. And his doctors haven't really been doing too many press conferences, and even when they do, it doesn't really sound too realistic. And there's just a lot of information we don't know about right now, like the state of his lungs, and any uh, post hospitalization issues that he might be having.
Releasing him from the hospital while it looked like he was trying to act strong really backfired because there was videos of him getting off of Air Force One, the helicopter from the hospital, and as he was climbing the stairs to take a photo op, he was trying to breathe. He was like really struggling to breathe. So we go to this video and we play this video. Just watch carefully how he's trying to breathe. Like he's going like it's really paining him to breathe. So there's definitely something wrong with his lungs, whether or not he's admitting to it or not. And it's even more evident because if we go and look at a clip where Donald Trump is coughing on live, like on the phone live with Sean Hannity on Fox News.
Will you encourage your supporters to get out and vote early?
Well, I want them to vote, but I will say this. Absentee is okay because absentee ballots, excuse me, absentee ballots are fine because absentee ballots, you request, you ask for a ballot, and you request, and that's it. Absentee.
So there's a clip of him coughing and clearing his throat. So clearly he's still experiencing symptoms and he's still sick with the virus. And this poses a major, major problem for Donald Trump because he's trying to admit that he is symptom-free, he is perfectly healthy, and he's ready to get back out on the campaign trail.
Yeah, that's definitely a significant issue because he's overweight, he's old, and he's being too cocky with this thing because he's looking at Joe Biden. Joe Biden's out there. He's looking strong. He's doing all the speeches, everything he has to do. He's 10 points behind. He's like, what the hell am I going to do? Because it's less than a month away from the election. He's getting desperate and putting his health at risk to maintain his public image.
Yeah, and he's still on that steroid. I think it's like what, dextrosome or something like that. And that really hinders his immune system. And the fact that they put him on it early before his body really had a chance to get going with fighting the virus, and with the uncertainty that Regeneron's actually going to work, really puts him in like a critical point. Because while he may feel great, so did Herman Cain. Herman Cain went to the Tulsa rally, and that's where he most likely caught COVID. And he said he felt fine, like 3 weeks straight, and then all of a sudden, that fourth week, his health turned and he just died. So with that timeline, Trump could feel fine all the way up to the election, and like the week of or during the election night, he could finally like succumb to the virus if he's not careful. He really needs to monitor his health. He might have to go back to Walter Reed because this is a dangerous virus that he's trying to ignore.
Rest in peace, Big Dead.
Yeah, and it even shows how much he's ignoring it that he's downplaying it on Twitter. So he's saying, don't be afraid of COVID while he's infected. I mean, that's really what's helping kick off Biden's 10-point lead on the national level, is the fact that Trump is still downplaying the virus once he has it. Even though he's still showing symptoms, it's still affecting him. He probably is going to have messed up lungs. Like, there's no way he's not. He's still coughing. He's not symptom-free. It's still affecting him. People were really pissed when Trump was downplaying the virus. He's like, don't let it dominate your life. That's kind of hard to tell to the 210,000 families that have had people die of the virus. You can't really let it not dominate their life when they're losing loved ones beyond their control. And he's saying that it's very easy to beat. Yeah, it's easy to beat when you have the top doctors in the country, your own private helicopter to fly you to and from the hospital, and the 6-room suite of a hospital bed.
Yeah, it was so easy for Trump to create a sense of unity and to really step up and be responsible. This was like the defining moment of his presidency. So back in March, he could have stood up and be like, okay, we're going to get through this. I need everyone to wear a mask. I need everyone to social distance. We're going to shut down a little bit. We'll get some stimulus talks going, and we'll see what we can do. But he didn't. He went the total other way. He took a U-turn to the right off the cliff.
He's denying it, and then he has it, and he's still denying it. Like, people are so sick and tired of his shit that they're now going to Biden in droves. Like, a lot of the independents are now making up their minds and going for Biden just because of this event alone. So it is really significant to see that he is still trying to downplay the virus despite him having it, and he had access to all the best medicine for free, mind you. He didn't have to pay for any of it. All the best doctors and all the best care. And yet he's like, oh, it's easy, guys. Yeah, it's easy if you have money and power. It's not so easy when most of the population can't really even afford an ambulance ride.
And we have one extra clip in the next tab.
Yeah, Charlie Baker's making a reoccurrence to the channel, as he had something to say about Trump getting coronavirus. So I will roll this clip.
And you guys might be able to guess why we play him. This is all the other governors.
I think it's incredibly irresponsible for the president or any other public official to ignore the advice of so many of the folks in the public health, epidemiological, and infectious disease community who have made absolutely clear to us all, time and time again, that this is a contagion. It is massively contagious, and it will wreak havoc on many people.
So Charlie Baker, again, ripping into Trump for saying that he's irresponsible for how he's acting with the coronavirus compared to how Americans are expected to act. And he's acting as if he's immune, and it obviously came back to bite him, and that's what Governor Baker had to say about it. So Baker is definitely not pleased with Trump, as he's ignored everything health officials have been saying since the start, and him getting coronavirus only highlights that.
I mean, what he said would probably mean a little more if people actually listen to Charlie Baker, but most people don't really care about Charlie Baker, what he has to say. So,
which is highly unfortunate.
Right. Yeah, that's all that we have for you guys today. Thank you guys for tuning in. We are the Political Pundits, the ICKS. That is who we are. Don't forget to comment, like, subscribe for more videos. Bye. Get out of here.